Hey, what's happening, people? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Y'all come on in the room, man. Y'all come on in the room. We're already about we ate. Had to get it together because the information in the game that I am going to be dropping on y'all tonight, it's going to be a good one. This is probably going to be one of the best episodes that I have ever recorded or that I have ever done live. Because this is live, ladies and gentlemen. Live, I tell you. Live, I tell you. So we got some things that we're going to drop to put in your spirit and hopefully that you can capitalize on them. So don't care. I want you to get your pen, your paper, and everything in between because class is in session, ladies and gentlemen. Class is in session, and you're going to be getting some information that you have never, ever heard before. And here's the thing about this, and I've said this one time before. Everything that I know, I got it from a book. I wish that I can say that this information is all mine, but I would be lying to you. I've heard other influencers. Talk about it, and it was enough that sparked my interest. Now, I'm the type of person, I am not going to say that the stuff that's being put out on social media is wrong. Not until I investigate, research for myself first. Now, and that's part because of this post that I put up. That and a lot of my content stems off of previous from somebody else. And this one particular gentleman, I did a video. Now that was my video. I did a video that basically told everybody if you had an old junker or a clunker or old car, you wanted to be safe and you wanted to be functioning. But I said if that car is already paid off, then you can take that car and turn that liability, because if it's just sitting in your yard, it's not making you any money. Let's start right there first. Then I'm going to go into the story. We have to understand the definitions of these words. Asset, liability. An asset is something that you own or something in your possession that makes continuous money. That's what an asset is. And at the stock market, if you bought in at a low price and the stock is going up, that's something that you paid one price for, but you're making money off of it, right? You would think that these would be self-explanatory, but based on the comments, people don't understand what an asset is. Just because you bought something, even if it was a high value, you bought a Gucci purse or a Louis Vuitton purse, one price, and it's in your possession. That is a liability. Why is it a liability? Because it lost its value the first time you put something in it, and you can't resell that bag for the same price that you purchased it at. That is a liability. If you have the video was one that I put up with Trick Daddy, the rapper. Trick Daddy said, if you can look out looking like my internet is acting stupid. Apologies for that. But what makes you a poor fool is just because you own something, if it's not making you money continuously, that's a liability. A car, certain cars, like, because if you had a GTO, a 1965 GTO, you got some money right there. But even that money has a cap. Because if you got a 65 GTO or 67 GTO, well, I think that's the years they came out was 65 to 67. People are only top value price at auction is around about 165,000, and that's in mint condition. So if you bought that car at 5,000 or 10,000, just to say 30,000, it made you money, but it didn't make you money continuously. It's a liability. Your home, ladies and gentlemen, your home, the home that you live in, that is a liability. Now, you build up equity into the house. You can build up equity into it, but that house is not making you money. Now, if it was a rental property, that's an asset because every month that house is making you income. If you had that GTO and you put that thing on Turo and somebody rents it and they continuously rent it out, that's an asset. But a one-time sale, and even though you sold it at a higher price than what you paid for it, it's a liability because it only made you money once. So we have to understand the definition and the meaning of these words. Asset, liability. Just because you own a bunch of stuff, if you're not making no money off of it continuously, it's a liability. So just because you buying stuff, if it's not artwork, now artwork, you can say that's an asset because artwork is subjective to interpretation and the value is put on what the person would give you for it, but you can insure the artwork, and the artwork, that value from the artwork can translate over to your net worth. See, it's a lot of these things. This is what the title of this podcast is about, is there are a lot of things that we do not know. And the system was designed that way. It was never intended for you to know. This is why when you start hearing people talking about the Matrix, that's what the Matrix is. The Matrix, even the movie, when you watch that movie, the movie was based on what you are taught to believe and reality. See, when they was inside of the Matrix, that was reality. But when they was in the regular world and you got Neo flying around places and people dodging and ducking bullets, see, that's not reality. That's not reality. So when the information is what was kept. Now, the information has always been out there. But if you were never taught the information, let me make sure that this connection is good. But you were never taught the information. And two, you didn't even know where to go look for it at. All right, we're on. You were never taught the information because the system of the matrix was designed to make you an employee, not a boss, not a business owner. And especially in a class system like here in the United States, everything is based on class. Upper class, middle class, lower class. And the knowledge is different on each class level. Even in your finances, millionaires don't hang around and talk to people who just doing 50, 60, 70, $80,000 a year. The conversations are different because the information is different. We don't have anything in common. And as you get to that $50 million bracket, the $50 million bracket don't do too much talking with the single digit millionaires. I mean, we know each other. We'll conversate and talk to each other, but the information is different because we're in a class society. So with that being said, the information that we as an influencer or people on social media put out is information that we found. Or somebody told us, we heard it from somebody, and it was enough. Well, for me, let me use me. When I hear information like you can write your birthday off as a tax write-off, as a deduction, I have never heard that a day in my life. Never heard that. And I'm 50, 51 years old. Never knew you could write a vacation off. They didn't teach that in school. But when I heard it, I was like, I wasn't one of these people that jump into the comments and be like, that's a lie, that's cap, that's false. I go and research it. Everybody got Google on their phone, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody got Google on their phone. So when you hear information, Google it. That's your first sign. But the people are so lazy. People are so lazy. They don't even want to. They'll rather comment on a post, take the time to comment, and even put a little gift up, a GIF, instead of just saying, hey, Siri, find me information where I can write my birthday off as a tax write-off. Simple. But people will want to go back and forth because one, they never heard of it. I get it. But at least do the research first. So what happened? I was talking to this guy who was going back and forth about 2-3 comments, and I was just like, all right, this guy. But the post that I put up was about taking that old junker, and you guys can go and find that on the page. Take that old car, and first you want to start a business, sell that car to the business for $5,000. This free game, y'all. So for all of you who didn't see that video, that reel, here's the game. Sell that car to your business for $5,000. Now, you've already made money and you just starting and you don't even know it. See, that's how information is hidden. Because nobody now, and it's funny because when you tell somebody, sell your car to the business, and it was like, what? I already own it. Yes, you own it, but the business doesn't own it. So when you take that title, flip it over, and you write sold to RDM Business Group for $5,000, that's the bill of sale. Now, what happens is I just move money from my left hand to my right hand. Now, here's the sweet part. You own the business, so you still own the car. But now that car becomes a full-fledged tax deduction, and now it's an asset instead of sitting in your yard, letting the grass grow up all around it. Then you take that car, once you get the tag on it, you get it tagged under the business name, you get it insured under the business name, and then you run an ad either on social media or Indeed or wherever the case may be, whatever area you're in. You run that ad, and then you say, hey, looking for Instacart, Uber Eats, and DoorDash drivers. Leasing my car for $250 a week. Ladies and gentlemen, that's $1,000 a month that you are making on a car that you already own. So the gentleman said, ain't no way you're going to make $1,000 a month delivering food. First of all, sir, that is incorrect. I know people that's doing more than $1,000. Instacart, DoorDash, and Uber Eats. You know why they're making more than that? Because they never stop running. That's the point that you have to do if you're going to make that play. You got to make sure that that person that's going to lease that vehicle, you got to keep them running because you got to get your $250. I don't care how much money they make. But then somebody said, well, what if they steal the car or they not doing DoorDash with it? Look, who in the world is going to pay $250 a week for a car? Nobody is going to have $1,000 a month car note unless you got a Maybach or something like that. But anyway, the point was, don't say it won't work when you haven't tried it. If you haven't even tried it, how do you know it won't work? That is word spoken from a lazy person. See, a lazy person, you can't fault them because they didn't do nothing. You can't even blame a lazy person. They didn't do nothing. But a person that don't even want to try, stay away from people like that. A person that is negative Nancy, they always say something won't work based on just their little mind cipher. Because when you look at it, it won't work for them because they won't work it. No business, ladies and gentlemen, will work if you don't work the business. Nobody, you won't make a solid dime. You can own all the businesses you want. You can own 100% of everything. Jay-Z said, just because you own 100% of a business, if it ain't making no money, you own 100% of nothing. So that's how you set and run that play. Free game. And I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, that is a safe bet. Now, here's where you make more money running that play. The mileage on that car. Last year alone, they paid 72 cents a mile. Ooh. Some of y'all didn't know that. Some of y'all didn't know that. And you going back and forth to work every day. The next time you go to work, hit that trip button on your tachometer. How many miles did it take for you to get from your house to the job and back home again? So you got double that. So if you're working 10 miles away, that's 20 miles a day. If you ran that play, ladies and gentlemen, 72 cents a mile, 20 miles a day times 5, average work week, that's 100 miles a week. It's 52 weeks in the year. So simple mathematics, ladies and gentlemen, 5,200 times 72. If you didn't write that dollar amount off and got that money back, you're doing yourself a major disservice by not learning how to play the game. You can't come into a system trying to cheat it and finagle it when you don't even know all of the rules because, one, you didn't create the system. You can't cheat the matrix if you don't know how the matrix works. Mr. Farrakhan said, I think that's where I heard him from, heard this phrase from. The best place to hide knowledge is in a book. Why? Because people don't like to read. They want to be told everything. And then when you tell it to them, it sounds fantastic. Trust me, I know. The first time I heard that you can write your birthday off, that just sounds like fantastic foolishness. At 51, I ain't never heard of that. I just started doing that last year. I didn't even know you could write your birthday off. I didn't know you could write your vacation off. I didn't know that. I just started doing that last year. So, but what I did, when I heard it, I started researching it. Then I read it. It's in the IRS tax code. But you, as an everyday laborer and worker, you're only focused on that W-2, that W-4, and that 1040 tax paper. That's all you focused on, because that's all you were ever taught. Here's something for you guys to do on your own time. I'm going to show you that what I'm telling you about is true at birth. We started training and teaching our children to be employees from the time they learn to talk and walk. We did that as parents. Why? Because that's what we saw our parents do. Get up and go to work. Mom and dad always talk about it, gotta go to work, gotta go to work. Now, you've heard this for at least 16 years of your life. Mom and daddy gotta go to work. If you got older siblings, they going to work. So what the programming happens, listen, matrix system, because when you construct the matrix the right way, the people will continue the programming for the matrix. Ain't nothing spooky about it. Nothing spooky about it. I hope I didn't lose nobody just by bringing up the term the matrix, but I'm trying to use terms that we can understand because of the movie. So when you do that over and over and over again, this is what you do. Go to any elementary, no, don't even go to elementary school. Go to any daycare, because you can just walk into those. Go into any daycare across the country, and you just go into one class, and you just start asking those children, what do you want to be when you grow up? Each and every last one of those children, I bet you $1 to a dime, each and every last one of them children are going to tell you job after job after job after job at 5 years old, 4 and 5 years old. I want to be a police job. I want to be a doctor, a better job, but it's still a job. I want to be a lawyer, still a job. If you find one child in that classroom that say, I want to be a business owner, please go live and tag me in it. Please go live and tag me in it. You're going to hear some children say, I want to be a football player, because that's what they were programmed to see. Now, let me tell you how the other side of that matrix program system works. Or the more well-off people in our class society. See, they don't care nothing about playing sports. But here's the thing. They become the agents to the middle and poor class people that are gifted with that talent. Not racist, not being funny. That's how the matrix is set up. They never have to go to practice. They never have to work out. They never have to worry about being in shape. They don't have to worry about broken bones, concussions, all of that stuff. This man sits in an office and takes 10 to 15% of your child's hard-earned money as his agent. He didn't care nothing about no sports. But in this society, in this world that we live in, this is why the knowledge was hidden. Certain people they've always had access to it. Certain classes or certain people in this world, the rich and the wealthy and the super wealthy, they know where to go find this information at. Have you ever wondered why you can go on any of these public speakers pages, your Robert Kiyosaki's, your Les Brown's, your Tony Robbins, your Eric Thomas? You can go on any one of their platforms and also just pick somebody who's super rich. They all talk about the same 7 books. If you want to be successful in life, each and every last one of these people talk about the same 7 books. So here's my question, why aren't the people who are not rich or wealthy, why we're not reading those 7 books? If you have successful people telling you what to read, the question becomes, why aren't you reading it? If that's the blueprint and that's the roadmap to being successful, then we need to read that book. Now, it is no accident that at least the top 100 richest people in the world dropped out of college. All quit. Some never went. So that should tell you that book education, book knowledge from school gets you a good job. That's all the education system in the United States is going to give us, is a good job. But those who are self-educated, that gives you a lifestyle. When people ask me, man, how you doing? Man, I am living my dream and loving my life because I did the self-education way. Everybody's not made to go to college. I mean, that's just fact. Some people are not going to go. Some people try to force themselves to go. But going to school only is going to get you a good job. So let's get to this, where the information is hidden and why it's hidden. It's hidden because J.D. Rockefeller, the creator and founder of our United States Board of Education, he never intended for nobody to be bosses, business owners. He intended for the educational system to make you a good employee. Think about it. When you were in school, you heard those bells going off. Bell going off, change classes. You hear those same bells at the job. Time to take a break. 10 minutes. You got 10 minutes to get from one class to the next. You got 10 minutes to go on a break and then get back to work. You got 30 minutes to eat at lunch in school, and you got 30 minutes to eat at work. Now, unless you have one of those careers where you get an hour, but that's what that higher education gave you, but you still had a job. Family, to wrap this up, I want you guys to look at information in a different set of eyes now, a different set of lenses. Sometimes when it sounds, but let me say this right quick. I lost my train of thought just that fast. But when wealthy people will always, if you ever talk to somebody who's well off, they'll talk to you like, why don't you know this? They call it sweat equity, one. They want to see how much work you're going to put into your own business. See, everybody want to go to somebody who's rich, super wealthy, and ask for money. And from the standpoint of a rich person or a wealthy person, money is not your problem. You guys have heard me say that plenty of times. Money is easy to make when you have the knowledge on how to make it. It's not hard out here to make money. If you are broke in 2024, it's strictly voluntary. You want to be broke. And that's how wealthy, rich people look at you when you just trying to hit them up for money. Well, man, I just need somebody to invest in my business. Dude, no rich person is going to do that. Nobody is going to do that because you don't have any sweat equity into that business. What work have you put into it? But then not only do you want the money, you want me to come out and do the work and build it for you. And then, see, that's why, again, people like that, I don't touch them. I stay away from them. It's a waste of my time. I don't have the time to help you build your business and give you my money. If I give money to somebody as an investor, I want my money to work for me. You can pay me monthly, pay me quarterly. I mean, however you want to pay me, I'm not looking to do no work. I have already done all of the leg work and the toiling that I'm going to do. But anyway, that's how rich people look at it. And so they're not, I mean, some of them, they have that attitude a little bit, but it's because they have heard it over and over and over again, and they all will tell you money is not your problem. It's your work ethic that's the problem. But from the side of, because I've been on both sides of this equation. Before I had this knowledge, I didn't know where to go except to a rich person to ask for the money. I had the drive. Some of you, if you follow me, you guys already know I've had a business since 1995, but I didn't start making no money until 12 years ago. Look at that. 1995. I just started making real money 12 years ago. 2012 was when I started making money. And you know what it was? The information. I was blessed and fortunate enough to meet a man that was in that key position, and whatever he saw, I'm glad he saw it, because that was the first thing that I asked him. He was looking at some of my work, and he said, Robert, you do good work, but I need you to get better. Ooh, wait a minute. You just said my business should be worth $250K. I haven't made $250,000 since 1995 to 2012 collectively. But then I was smart enough, because I heard Ice-T say, never ask a rich person for money. I said, hey, do you have any books that I can read? He walked into his study. He came out and gave me 3 books. Key Person to Influence, Act Now, and man, and I forget the other one that's downstairs. But I'm always remember Key Person to Influence and Act Now because those are 2 of my favorite books. And the game he was just laying out, boom, in those books. Now that was enough to, at the same time, I got wind of Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Went and got that book. Then I got wind of 7 Highly Effective Ways to Influence People. Got that book. So I started picking up these 7 books that every successful person always on autopilot repeat. Regardless of who they are and what financial bracket they're in, if you're successful, if you've ever heard a successful person speak, even Grant Cardone, these 7 books are what you need to add. And you need to read them, study them, break them down, get you a highlighter or a pink one. It don't matter what color you put it in, and start, dissect that thing, because they drop so much game. And if you really about that life, it will change your life in less than 30 days. Now, I heard Gary Vee say the average, a true entrepreneur needs to read anywhere from 10 to 15 books a month. Why is that? Because the information is in the book. That is phase one of your sweat equity. Because now, when you get in the presence of somebody that has that high dollar value influence, now you start your conversations change. Because now you know what to ask, because you picked it up in the book. So when people start talking about deferred taxes, now they can give you an explanation and understanding on what deferred taxes is. As a personal W-2 employee, you never heard the term deferred taxes. You couldn't defer any taxes because you are an employee. That knowledge was hidden from you because you are a worker. Deferred taxes is only for business owners. Legal term. How to transfer all of your personal liabilities and make them assets. You were never taught that. What you were taught was buy you something and put your name on it. Not wealthy people. Wealthy people don't own anything. Hear me well. Wealthy people do not own anything. They don't own those jets. They don't own the mansions, not under their personal name. There's the difference. When you own it under your personal name, that makes you responsible, and not just for paying it, but it makes you responsible for the taxes that you got to pay on it. Any rich person you talk to, they are adamantly against taxation. You can talk to any Republican and they'll tell you that. That's the first thing they talk about. We too taxed. But they never tell you how to get it, how to not pay it. It sounds fantastic, ladies and gentlemen. Don't earn an income. Well, if I don't earn an income, how am I going to pay my bills? You personally don't earn an income, but if you 1099, or not 1099, 1099 is the format you're going to use. But if you were to just LLC your name, another thing that sounded fantastic to me. I didn't know that I can LLC my own name and make myself a corporate entity. I didn't know that. I thought that was only for a traditional brick and mortar business. But when you look at it, ladies and gentlemen, you are the business. Most people don't even know you can 1099 flipping chicken at Popeyes. We were never taught that. Hide the information, make everybody a W-2 worker. You never ever were taught that you can 1099 yourself and you become the business. When you become the business, that means everything that you have under your personal name, you can now transfer that over to the business, and now you don't own anything. You don't. So if you don't own anything, you don't have to pay the taxes. Well, who pays the taxes? The business does. If you don't earn an income, you don't have to pay taxes. Well, how am I able to pay my bills? The business does. The business is the one that should be getting all of the money. Understand that. Listen, if somebody is paying all of your bills, what do you need money for? If somebody is paying for all of your living expenses, all of your livelihood, what do you need money for? Let me tell you who is doing this same play right now. Elon Musk. Elon Musk does not receive a salary. He doesn't get paid an income. See, he had the knowledge. He got the knowledge from somewhere because he's doing it. How can you be the second richest man in the world, and you don't get a paycheck? Y'all tell me how that maths. I'm gonna tell you somebody else who's doing it. Jeff Bezos. Now, Jeff Bezos earns an income of $300,000 a year. You can Google it, look it up. I'm not telling you nothing false. He earns $300,000 a year. Now, how can you be the third richest man in the world and you have an annual income of $300,000 and you are the third richest man in the world? That math don't math. It's the information. But when you understand how the information, when you have the information, then it's easy for the math to come out equal on both sides. Ladies and gentlemen, even the book called Bible says, seek knowledge from the cradle to the grave. It's when you stop seeking knowledge, that's when you have become comfortable and mediocre, and you're going to be an employee the rest of your life because you're not trying to find any more knowledge on how to set yourself free. And it's in a book. It's in a book. When you guys watch my content and I'm dropping free game, it's in a book. Somebody is already doing it, have done it, and so I'm giving it to you because you probably never heard it before. But if you're sitting around the house twiddling your thumbs, man, I got to get me another job. Stop getting more jobs and create you a business where you are. Man, I can't preach that to the people enough. The answer is not continuously to be an employee. That's why when you see my post, I tell everybody, fire your boss. Be your own boss. Now, granted, everybody can't do that. Everybody won't be a boss. Not that everybody can't, but people won't do it because they know they sorry, they lazy. I know people, man, if you gave them a job sleeping, they will wake up and quit. Some people just like that. Everybody can't be a boss. And I'm glad that everybody can't be a boss because I need customers. I need somebody to sell this stuff to. But if everybody became bosses, hey, the marketing game, the goods and export and imports would be over with because everybody will be making money. Family, what I'm trying to tell you, and I'm going to wrap this up. When you hear information, immediately grab your phone. You can go to Google or Siri. Whatever you heard, research it there first. And it's going to pull up pages and pages. All you got to do is look at the top 5 or top 3. It's going to tell you exactly where to go. When I tell people you can LLC for $50, man, that sounds fantastic. It sounds like fantastic foolishness. One time, forever. You are in business forever on $50. That information is in a book. Hey, this is why you guys tune in to me, because I give y'all that real. I give you the information that you need in order to help you be a little bit more successful. Now, if you don't take that information and do nothing with it, hey, that's not my problem. Ain't nobody gatekeeping. You just lazy. or you just mediocre. Ain't nothing wrong with being mediocre. Some people want to be mediocre. They just want to go through life and die safely. In a perfect world, they want to go in their sleep. They want to go to sleep and never wake up. But that's the matrix. That's not reality. I'll see you guys on the other side. And hey, if you do it right, I'll be here waiting on you. Peace, family. Give me my theme music. Like Deion Sanders say. Give me my theme music.